Imagine transforming your life starting today by mastering motivation, building unstoppable success, and becoming the best version of yourself every single day. In this audiobook, you will discover 10 powerful chapters designed to change the way you think, act, and achieve. From building discipline, setting clear goals, practicing gratitude, taking full responsibility, training your mind, creating routines, pushing through challenges, investing in learning, surrounding yourself wisely, to acting with courage. Each chapter gives practical steps you can apply immediately to see real results. Every insight is crafted to help you improve daily, overcome fear, and stay driven no matter what. This video has no interruptions, no ads, just pure value delivered straight to you so you can focus fully on your growth. Hit subscribe now and join our daily audiobook journey where every chapter pushes you closer to unstoppable success. Chapter 1. Build discipline daily to strengthen focus and consistency. The first action of the day determines how the rest of the day behaves. Discipline is not a trait some people are born with and others are not. Discipline is a set of decisions repeated until they become automatic. Discipline does not arrive as motivation does not appear out of nowhere or as inspiration that ebbs and flows. Discipline is this quiet agreement you keep with yourself every morning when you choose what matters over what feels easiest. That choice is the foundation of focus and consistency. The path to success begins with the ability to do what must be done even when the feeling to do it is not present. Start by defining one non-negotiable action you will complete every day. It must be small and concrete, and it must produce value. Examples are 20 push-ups before breakfast, writing 300 clear words before checking any messages, or studying one core page of a book before turning on entertainment. The purpose of the non-negotiable is to create a reliable signal in your life that you can count on. When the signal fires every morning, it anchors your attention and it trains your mind to respect your own promises. Keep this commitment for 30 consecutive days. If you miss one day, start again from day one. The restart is not punishment. The restart is useful feedback. It reveals the weak link in the system so the next attempt is smarter. Design your environment to reduce decisions. Discipline weakens as options multiply. Decide the night before what you will wear. Prepare the exact tools you will need and place them where you will reach them. Put the journal and pen by the bed and leave your phone in another room. Prepare a simple breakfast that fuels your body and does not require negotiation in the morning. The fewer choices you must make under tiredness, the more likely the important choices will occur. This is not about eliminating freedom. This is about choosing freedom from distraction so that energy is available for the work that matters. Structure your day into blocks of focused effort and brief rest. Time blocking gives your attention a predictable container. Choose a single task for each block and protect that block as if it were an appointment with a valued client. During focused blocks, remove all digital interruptions, close the door if possible, and use a visible timer. Work for a defined period and then take a brief reset. The reason short resets matter is not laziness. Short resets preserve attention and allow repetition over time. Focus for a set period, practice returning your attention when it wanders, and repeat. Over weeks, the ability to concentrate longer with less friction will grow. Adopt a clear start ritual for each focused session. The ritual should be simple and repeatable. It could be a single deep breath, 3 slow inhales and exhales, a brief stretch, or a 5-second scan of the day's small priorities. A ritual signals the brain that work has begun. It reduces resistance because habit replaces the argument you normally have with yourself. Keep the ritual short and consistent. Make a rule that the ritual happens before any distraction is allowed. This creates consistency by making the start predictable and automatic. Use measurement, not hope. Track discrete metrics that reflect progress. If the priority is fitness, record minutes of exercise or sets completed. If the priority is writing, record words produced or pages edited. If the priority is learning, record minutes or concepts mastered. Recording creates clarity and removes vague impressions. Each small number is feedback. Review the numbers weekly and refine the plan. If progress stalls, adjust the approach rather than the commitment. Discipline without measurement drifts into busyness. Measurement turns action into learning. Break big tasks into smallest possible steps that can be completed in minutes. The smallest step reduces friction and starts momentum. If a project feels enormous, list one tiny next action and complete it immediately. Once the tiny step is complete, choose the next tiny step. This method maintains forward motion and builds momentum without burning willpower. Over time, the accumulation of tiny, meaningful steps becomes the entire outcome. Practice a daily evening review. Sit for 5 to 15 minutes with a journal and answer 3 questions. What was completed today? What was missed and why? What is the single most important action for tomorrow? This review trains the mind to learn from each day and plan the next day with intention. It creates a quiet accountability between what was promised in the morning and what happened by night. Keep this review short, honest, and practical. Use it as input to improve the next day's plan. Guard energy through simple rules about rest and nutrition. Discipline fails when the body is neglected. Prioritize sleep by setting a consistent bedtime and wake time. Stop screens before sleep in favor of quiet reading or a brief walk. Eat real food with protein and vegetables to stabilize energy. Hydrate regularly. Move the body intentionally, even if it is a short walk or a set of stretches. The discipline to act requires fuel and rest. Treat them as essential parts of the system rather than optional afterthoughts. Accept discomfort as part of the process and practice accepting it deliberately. Discomfort is not a sign of failure. Discomfort is a signal that growth is underway. Use short, controlled exposures to discomfort as training. That could mean working in silence for an hour without music, or pushing once a repetition in a workout, or speaking up in a meeting. The repeat exposure teaches the mind that unease passes and the action yields benefit. Over time, tolerance for discomfort increases and choices become clearer. Create public or private accountability. Tell a trusted person about the daily non-negotiable or use a simple shared tracker. Accountability increases follow-through because human beings respond to expectations others set for them as well as the ones they set for themselves. If public accountability feels risky, begin with one private accountability partner. The goal is not shame. The goal is reliable feedback and a social nudge that supports persistence. Design small emergency plans for common failure points. Predict the moments when motivation drops, when the environment will be tempting, or when travel will disrupt routine. Decide in advance what the fallback will be. For example, if travel disrupts the morning workout, practice a 10-minute bodyweight routine that fits in a hotel room. If sleeplessness makes the planned writing impossible, have a 2-minute micro-task such as editing a paragraph or reviewing notes. The emergency plan keeps the standard alive by offering a lower-friction version that still counts. Celebrate progress with simple, honest recognition instead of rewards that undermine discipline. Recognition can be a short note in a journal, a check mark on a habit calendar, or a 5-minute break to acknowledge the work done. Avoid habit rewards that are opposite to your goal. If the goal is health, do not celebrate progress with sugary food. If the goal is focus, do not celebrate with hours of passive scrolling. Keep celebration aligned with the direction you intend to move. Practice a stoic perspective daily. Focus on what is within control, your actions, not the results, other people's choices, or external events. Use brief negative visualization to test plans and to prepare emotionally for obstacles. Consider what could go wrong and decide how you would respond calmly. Preparing in this way makes decisions clear when pressure arrives. Maintain an inner standard of conduct that is independent of praise and outside validation. That standard becomes the inner force that sustains discipline. Teach yourself to say no with clarity. Each yes to a low priority is a no to what matters most. Reduce the number of small obligations that drain time and attention. Practice brief, polite refusal and protect the blocks of time reserved for meaningful work. This creates an internal permission to focus and a consistent environment where important actions can occur. Finally, commit to continuous refinement. Discipline is not rigid punishment. It is a living system that responds to feedback. Once a week, review what is working and what is not. Ask hard questions. Are the goals still meaningful? Are the daily actions producing the intended outcomes? Where is friction highest and what small change reduces it? Adjust and iterate. The aim is steady progress, not perfect performance. Do what is required day after day with a calm and steady mind. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. It creates the conditions for consistent effort and clear results. Build that bridge by choosing one non-negotiable, designing the environment to support it, measuring progress, and practicing honest reflection. Accept discomfort as information and use simple plans to cover predictable failures. Protect energy and say no to distractions. Over months, the repeated small choices will change the shape of life. The work of discipline is ordinary and direct, and it yields extraordinary results when practiced consistently. Chapter 2. Develop clear goals to direct energy toward real progress. Setting clear goals is not just a task on a checklist. It is the framework that turns scattered effort into measurable results. Without defined objectives, energy disperses and time evaporates. Goals act as a compass. They indicate the direction and prevent wandering in circles. To develop clear goals requires honesty, reflection, and deliberate choice. Begin by identifying the areas of life that matter most. These could include career, relationships, health, finances, or personal growth. Each area deserves a clear target, not vague aspirations. Avoid saying "I want to be successful" or "I want to improve." Those statements are feelings, not actionable markers. Instead, define what success looks like specifically. How much income will indicate success? What skill will prove mastery? What habit demonstrates progress? Specificity transforms abstract ideas into tangible steps. Once goals are defined, break them into measurable outcomes. Each objective must have a way to quantify progress. Numbers, time frames, and visible results provide clarity. If the goal is to write a book, define how many words, chapters, or pages are expected per week. If the goal is fitness, decide on the number of workouts, weight targets, or measurable performance improvements. Measurement eliminates guess. It replaces hope with proof. It allows adjustments before failure becomes permanent. Regular tracking ensures that every day contributes to a meaningful trajectory rather than wasted motion. Clarity in goals also requires prioritization. Not every objective holds equal value or urgency. Rank them by impact on overall life vision. High-priority goals receive the most focus, time, and energy. This approach prevents dilution of effort. Many people fail not because they lack potential, but because they scatter energy across too many directions. Concentration on a few key objectives produces faster progress. When the day begins, The tasks supporting the top goals must occupy the primary attention. Secondary goals can be tackled when capacity allows, but they never replace the focus on what matters most. Next, transform goals into daily actionable steps. A goal without action is a wish. Identify what must be done each day to move closer to the target. These actions should be precise, achievable, and time-bound. If financial growth is a goal, a daily action could be reaching out to one potential client, analyzing market data for 30 minutes, or reviewing budget decisions. If learning a skill is the goal, daily practice or study must be scheduled. Daily actions create momentum, and momentum compounds over time. Small, consistent steps accumulate into large results that feel almost inevitable. Clarity also comes from writing down goals. Putting objectives in physical form strengthens commitment. A journal, a planner, or even a digital document makes the goal tangible. Written goals serve as a constant reminder. They create a personal contract that the mind recognizes and respects. Reviewing these goals regularly, daily or weekly, keeps them alive in consciousness. Mental energy is finite, and constant reminders prevent drift. A written goal also makes it easier to track progress and celebrate milestones, which reinforces motivation and persistence. Visualization is another powerful tool in goal clarity. Picture the result of your effort in detail. Imagine the scene, the emotions, the benefits, and the sense of achievement. Visualization creates a mental rehearsal of success. It prepares the mind to navigate challenges with confidence because it has already seen the outcome. Combine visualization with sensory detail, hear the sounds, see the environment, and feel the emotions. This mental exercise strengthens resolve and focuses energy toward action rather than distraction. Goals must be flexible without sacrificing commitment. Life introduces variables, unexpected challenges, and shifting circumstances. Flexibility allows adjustment without abandonment. Reevaluate objectives periodically. Are they still aligned with priorities? Are the timelines realistic? Can the method improve? Adjustments show strategic intelligence, not weakness. They ensure progress remains on track, even when obstacles appear. A rigid mindset creates frustration when plans encounter natural resistance. Adaptation maintains forward motion. Accountability amplifies goal achievement. Share objectives with someone who will check progress, encourage, and offer constructive critique. Accountability increases follow-through because actions are no longer entirely internal. When others are aware, there is external reinforcement. For private goals, track milestones publicly through logs, spreadsheets, or apps that provide visibility. Feedback loops make the path clearer. Regular review sessions of progress, successes, and setbacks illuminate where improvement is required and where momentum is growing. This continuous feedback prevents stagnation and reinforces the importance of the goals. Eliminate distractions that do not serve the goals. Time and attention are the most finite resources. Daily choices that waste energy or focus reduce progress. Identify patterns that steal attention. Excessive scrolling, unproductive meetings, or low-value obligations. Replace them with behaviors that directly support objectives. Align environment, habits, and tools with goal pursuit. Physical and digital spaces should reflect priorities, making action easier and deviation harder. The more friction removed from essential actions, the more likely consistency will occur. Commit to incremental progress. Large goals can overwhelm, creating avoidance. Focus on micro steps that are immediately achievable. Progress compounds over weeks and months. Celebrate small victories, not with indulgence, but with acknowledgement of the forward movement. This acknowledgement fuels persistence without reducing discipline. Avoid waiting for perfect conditions. Start with what is possible now. Action produces clarity, energy, and insight, whereas waiting produces stagnation and doubt. Goals also serve as a filter for decision-making. Each choice during the day should be evaluated against objectives. Will this action move the needle? Will this behavior bring me closer to measurable outcomes? If the answer is no, the action should be reconsidered or eliminated. This principle creates alignment between effort and desired results. Life becomes less reactive and more intentional. Decisions become easier because the criteria of evaluation are clear. Clarity in goals transforms daily choices into meaningful contributions toward a larger life vision. Finally, reinforce goals through reflection. Daily reflection on actions, successes, and failures solidifies learning. Ask honest questions about what worked, what did not, and what could improve. Reflection ensures that action is intelligent, not blind. It turns experience into wisdom and repeated mistakes into minimized losses. Use reflection as input to refine actions, adjust timelines, and sharpen priorities. Over time, this reflective practice creates a disciplined mind capable of pursuing goals with precision and confidence. Clarity, specificity, measurement, prioritization, accountability, and reflection are the pillars of goal achievement. They transform vague desires into deliberate motion. Goals without clarity remain dreams. With clarity, every step gains purpose. Every day becomes an opportunity to advance. Every challenge becomes manageable because it is evaluated against a defined target. The mind knows where it is going, and the energy follows. Developing clear goals is not a one-time task, but a continuous practice. It requires vigilance, honesty, and intention. Those who embrace this practice experience accelerated growth, focused energy, and measurable success. They no longer drift through life. They move with precision, direction, and unstoppable momentum, creating a trajectory that transforms intention into reality. Chapter 3. Practice gratitude daily to increase motivation and resilience. Gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling or a polite acknowledgement of what is good in life. It is a deliberate practice that rewires the mind, strengthens resilience, and fuels motivation in ways that few other habits can achieve. When gratitude is practiced daily, it transforms perception. Challenges are seen as opportunities to learn, setbacks as temporary, and successes as milestones to build upon. The mind begins to recognize abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It is about shifting focus from what is missing to what is present, valuable, and within reach. This subtle shift changes behavior, improves decision-making, and nurtures a mindset capable of sustaining long-term effort and growth. The first step in daily gratitude is conscious observation. Take deliberate moments throughout the day to notice aspects of life often overlooked. It could be as simple as the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the taste of nourishing food, the reliability of friends and family, or the ability to take a deep breath. The act of noticing creates awareness, which is the foundation of appreciation. Without attention, the mind drifts toward complaints and distractions. Daily awareness ensures that gratitude becomes a natural response rather than a forced exercise. Record these observations in a journal to reinforce the practice and to create a growing list of elements that sustain your emotional strength. Next, gratitude should be expressed in concrete and specific terms. General statements like "I am grateful for my life" are less effective than detailing why or how life is appreciated. For example, noting "I am grateful for the support my friend gave me today because it helped me finish an important task" anchors the feeling to a meaningful event. Specificity strengthens neural connections associated with gratitude, making the emotional impact more profound. Over time, this specificity enhances clarity in thinking and decision-making. The mind begins to notice not just the obvious positives, but also subtle factors that contribute to daily well-being and personal growth. Pairing gratitude with reflection magnifies its benefits. Spend a few minutes at the beginning or end of each day, reflecting on 3 to 5 things that went well. Ask why they went well, and what role your actions played in those outcomes. This process emphasizes personal responsibility while simultaneously cultivating appreciation. It teaches the mind to recognize causality rather than attributing all success or failure to external forces. Reflection combined with gratitude reinforces learning, provides perspective on setbacks, and develops a resilient attitude that accepts difficulty without surrendering motivation. Gratitude can also be integrated into goal pursuit. Recognize the progress already made toward long-term objectives. Often people focus solely on what remains undone, which fosters frustration and discouragement. Pause to acknowledge the small victories along the path. Completing a task, mastering a skill, or making a consistent effort deserves recognition. Celebrating progress through gratitude maintains motivation, reduces burnout, and strengthens the habit of persistence. This practice creates a psychological buffer against challenges and keeps energy levels stable even during periods of high pressure or uncertainty. Expressing gratitude to others enhances its impact. Verbal acknowledgement, written notes, or simple acts of kindness convey appreciation and strengthen social bonds. Positive interactions trigger reciprocal behavior and create supportive networks that amplify resilience. Being grateful to others also fosters humility and emotional intelligence, qualities essential for leadership, collaboration, and long-term success. Regularly practicing this outward expression ensures that gratitude is not confined to internal thought, but becomes an active component of daily life, influencing relationships and creating a positive feedback loop of encouragement and recognition. Physical embodiment of gratitude further reinforces the mental state. Posture, facial expression, and tone of voice influence emotional experience. Sitting upright, maintaining an open chest, and taking deep breaths while consciously reflecting on things to appreciate signals to the body that the mind is in a positive state. These small physical adjustments not only strengthen the emotional response, but also prepare the body for action, increasing readiness, energy, and alertness. The connection between body and mind ensures that gratitude is not abstract, but deeply integrated into daily functioning. Gratitude also strengthens resilience by changing the perception of adversity. Instead of viewing challenges as purely negative, it encourages examination of what can be learned and what opportunities exist. Difficult situations become training grounds, each experience providing insight and strengthening mental endurance. By identifying aspects within each difficulty that are valuable or instructive, gratitude converts potential frustration into actionable understanding. This approach prevents stagnation and empowers consistent forward movement despite setbacks. Over time, this builds a mindset where obstacles no longer deter effort, but instead reinforce perseverance and strategic thinking. The habit of gratitude benefits mental clarity and decision-making. When attention is centered on appreciation, the mind experiences less distraction from trivial complaints or emotional turmoil. Energy is conserved and focused on productive action. Gratitude provides a stabilizing effect, reducing stress hormones and promoting calm focus. With a calmer, clearer mind, choices are more intentional, responses more measured, and energy is directed toward meaningful progress rather than dissipated through worry or resentment. This effect accumulates daily, producing compounding benefits in both personal and professional arenas. Incorporate gratitude into habitual routines to ensure consistency. Morning or evening journaling, brief reflection during breaks, or conscious acknowledgement during meals are simple but effective. The goal is repetition until gratitude becomes an automatic lens through which the world is viewed. Automatic gratitude enhances emotional intelligence and self-regulation, allowing the individual to remain motivated and composed in the face of unexpected challenges. The more embedded the practice, the more natural and resilient the mindset becomes, and the more energy is available for deliberate action toward goals. Use gratitude as a tool for perspective. Compare current circumstances with the past or consider how life could be more difficult. This exercise does not diminish ambition, but reinforces satisfaction with the present while motivating action toward improvement. Recognizing what exists today alongside what is desired tomorrow creates balance. Motivation emerges not from lack or pressure alone, but from the recognition of value in what has already been achieved. Perspective shifts mental energy from frustration to productive determination. Finally, recognize that gratitude and effort are intertwined. Appreciation is not passive. It fuels consistent action. Being grateful for time, health, skills, and opportunity encourages intentional use of these resources. Each act of effort becomes a reinforcement of appreciation. Gratitude transforms ordinary routines into meaningful steps toward long-term goals. It maintains mental stability, emotional energy, and focus, producing a cycle where motivation is self-sustaining. Daily practice of gratitude is not a supplement to success. It is the engine that powers resilience, consistent action, and a mindset capable of achieving substantial, enduring progress. Chapter 4. Take responsibility fully to gain control over your future. Taking responsibility is the cornerstone of personal power and the only true way to shape your future. When life throws challenges, it is easy to blame circumstances, others, or luck. But those who achieve lasting success do not wait for conditions to improve or for someone else to intervene. Control begins with ownership. Every choice, every action, every reaction is yours to command. The moment responsibility is fully accepted, energy shifts from mate to action. Complaining consumes focus, but responsibility channels focus towards solutions. Accepting full responsibility does not mean self-blame for everything that happens. It means recognizing the part you play and the influence you have over outcomes, even when external factors exist. Power resides in understanding what can be controlled and acting decisively within that domain. Start by examining every area of life with honesty. Finances, health, relationships, career, learning, and habits all require ownership. Ask yourself which areas have suffered due to inaction or poor choices. Write down the ways you have avoided responsibility and note the consequences. This process may be uncomfortable, but it creates clarity. Awareness of gaps between intention and action is the first step toward change. Clarity produces focus, and focus drives results. Responsibility demands that you confront reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Next, remove the language of excuses from daily thought. Statements such as "I don't have time," "they made me do it," or "the system is against me," create victimhood. Replace these with statements that emphasize action, choice, and ownership. For example, "I will allocate my time wisely," "I choose how to respond," or "I will work within the system to achieve results." This shift in language rewires thought patterns. Words define perception. By choosing ownership-focused language, the mind naturally searches for solutions rather than distractions. Over time, this linguistic discipline strengthens confidence and clarity. Develop proactive habits that reinforce responsibility. Take small daily actions that directly impact your goals. If health is a priority, track calories, schedule workouts, and rest consistently. If career growth is a focus, outline tasks, execute them without delay, and seek feedback. Responsibility thrives in repetition. The cumulative effect of small, deliberate actions far outweighs occasional bursts of effort. When every day includes tangible steps aligned with intentions, control over outcomes becomes visible. Momentum grows naturally when responsibility is embedded in routine. Decision-making is a critical arena for responsibility. Avoid deferring choices or hoping someone else will solve problems. Assess options, consider consequences, and act decisively. Recognize that indecision is itself a choice with its own cost. Each decision is an opportunity to assert control over the trajectory of life. Mistakes will occur, but owning mistakes fully, learning and adapting ensures continuous growth. Responsibility demands accountability for errors as well as successes. Those who shift blame stagnate. Those who own their outcomes accelerate. Set boundaries to protect your energy and resources. Taking responsibility fully requires clarity about what you will accept and what you will not. Say no to distractions, low-value demands, and external pressures that divert focus from essential goals. Boundaries are a declaration that your time, attention, and efforts are under your control. Clear boundaries reduce reactive behavior and allow strategic action. They reinforce the mindset that your life is a product of intentional decisions, not passive circumstances. Financial responsibility is another pillar of control. Manage resources deliberately. Track income, spending, and investments with precision. Avoid reliance on luck, windfalls, or excuses for poor planning. Responsibility in finance means anticipating needs, preparing for uncertainty, and making informed decisions rather than reacting impulsively. The habit of deliberate financial management creates stability and allows freedom of choice, reinforcing the broader principle that control over resources translates into control over future opportunities. Emotional responsibility cannot be overlooked. Responses to stress, criticism, or setbacks must be consciously managed. Blaming others for emotional states surrenders power. Recognize that emotions are signals, not commands. Feel them, analyze their origin, and choose a constructive response. Emotional ownership ensures that challenges do not derail progress. It trains the mind to remain steady, focused, and resilient. The more consistently emotions are managed through responsibility, the less external events dictate behavior, and the more autonomy over life's trajectory emerges. Responsibility also entails taking ownership of personal growth. Learning is a non-negotiable responsibility. Seek knowledge, develop skills, and improve competencies without waiting for external prompts. Identify gaps in expertise and take deliberate steps to close them. Self-education is an ongoing act of ownership over potential. Each new skill, each insight, and each improvement compounds, creating leverage that dramatically influences the trajectory of success. Those who wait passively for instruction or opportunity forfeit control and progress. Accountability reinforces responsibility. Share goals with trusted peers, mentors, or partners who will hold you to your commitments. Public or private accountability strengthens follow-through because external observation increases commitment. Feedback loops illuminate blind spots, allow course correction, and provide reinforcement. A commitment kept under observation is often more likely to succeed than one left entirely to internal motivation. Accountability transforms responsibility from an abstract concept into tangible, measurable action. Reflection is the final essential practice. Daily or weekly review of actions, decisions, and outcomes ensures lessons are internalized. Ask, did I act in alignment with my priorities? Did I respond with ownership in every situation? Where did I shift blame or defer action? Honest reflection exposes patterns, reveals opportunities for improvement, and strengthens future decision-making. Responsibility without reflection risks repeating mistakes. Reflection ensures that each experience contributes mastery of self and circumstance. Every day, view life as a sequence of choices you own completely. From the moment you wake to the moment you sleep, actions, reactions, and efforts accumulate. Accepting responsibility is the act of taking the steering wheel firmly in hand, knowing that speed, direction, and destination are controlled by deliberate decisions. External conditions will always exist, but their influence diminishes when ownership is constant. Each responsible action compounds, each choice sharpens focus, and each acknowledgement of agency strengthens confidence. Control over the future is not a result of luck or circumstance, but a product of consistent, deliberate ownership of every moment. Taking responsibility fully transforms perception, performance, and outcomes. It converts challenges into actionable steps, obstacles into lessons, and external pressure into internal authority. Those who embrace this path no longer drift through life. They navigate with precision, clarity, and relentless forward motion. Responsibility is the framework upon which focus, growth, and long-term success are built. It is not a habit to practice occasionally, but a lifestyle that ensures the trajectory of life is guided intentionally rather than left to chance. By claiming complete ownership of actions, decisions, emotions, and growth, the future becomes not something to wait for, but something actively created with every conscious choice. Chapter 5. Train your mind daily to master thoughts and emotions. The mind is the most powerful tool a person possesses, and yet it is often left untamed, wandering from one thought to another without direction. Mastery over thoughts and emotions is not an innate gift, but a skill cultivated through intentional practice. Every reaction, impulse, and mental habit can either strengthen focus and resilience or erode clarity and control. Training the mind requires consistency, awareness, and deliberate engagement. Each day presents an opportunity to shape mental patterns, choose which thoughts to nurture, and determine how emotions influence actions. The discipline of mental training transforms chaos into clarity, anxiety into composure, and distraction into purposeful focus. Begin by observing thoughts without judgment. Spend moments in silence identifying recurring mental patterns. Notice which thoughts energize, which drain, and which provoke unproductive emotions. This awareness is not passive reflection, but active reconnaissance. Understanding the content and rhythm of your thoughts allows recognition of which beliefs serve your growth and which undermine it. Awareness alone strengthens control because a mind that is observed is less likely to be hijacked by automatic reactions. Recording thoughts in a journal adds structure, making abstract patterns tangible and actionable. Next, challenge negative or unhelpful thoughts systematically. Each mental claim must pass a test of evidence and utility. If a thought like "I am not capable" arises, examine it critically. Is this factually true, partially true, or simply a projection of fear? Replace unverified or limiting beliefs with affirmations grounded in evidence and past experience. The replacement must be believable and repeatable. Over time, this practice restructures neural pathways, creating a mind trained to favor clarity, confidence, and constructive action over doubt, fear, and hesitation. Emotions follow thought, but they can be regulated independently through awareness and technique. Emotional mastery is the ability to feel fully without being controlled by impulses. When anger arises, recognize the trigger, label the emotion, and pause before responding. When fear surfaces, analyze its source and determine whether it is an obstacle or signal for preparation. Naming emotions and understanding their origin reduces reactive intensity and increases intentional response. This separation between stimulus and reaction is the foundation of emotional intelligence and mental resilience. Incorporate daily mental exercises designed to strengthen focus and self-discipline. Meditation, even for a few minutes, teaches attention control and mental stability. Visualization of desired outcomes conditions the mind to anticipate success while rehearsing composure under pressure. Mental repetition of challenges with controlled responses prepares the brain for real-world execution. These exercises are not abstract rituals. They are practical training tools that produce measurable improvement in attention, decision-making, and emotional control. Mind training requires deliberate exposure to discomfort. Seek situations that provoke emotional intensity or cognitive challenge and engage with them consciously. Facing uncertainty, conflict, or complex problems builds mental endurance. Each confrontation with difficulty strengthens the ability to remain calm and make clear choices under pressure. Avoidance reduces growth. Active engagement with challenging circumstances is essential to develop both thought mastery and emotional resilience. The environment significantly influences mental patterns. Surround the mind with inputs that encourage clarity, discipline, and growth. Limit exposure to excessive negativity, superficial distractions, or constant noise. Choose reading, conversations, and experiences that challenge thinking, expand knowledge, and encourage reflection. A curated environment reinforces the training of thought and emotion by creating consistent cues and standards. This prevents passive absorption of chaos and promotes proactive cultivation of mental strength. Develop self-directed routines that reinforce intentional thinking. Morning reflection, structured planning, and focused work blocks establish a rhythm for the mind. Even small habits like reviewing priorities or setting a daily intentions strengthen neural pathways associated with purposeful thought. Consistency in routines signals the brain to expect focus and rational processing, making automatic thought patterns more aligned with goals. Habits act as scaffolding for sustained mental discipline, reducing reliance on willpower alone. Cognitive flexibility is essential for mastery. Train the mind to adapt, pivot, and adjust without losing composure. When obstacles appear or plans change, practice reframing the situation. Look for opportunities in difficulty rather than succumbing to frustration. Flexibility allows problem solving without unnecessary emotional turbulence. The ability to shift perspective and maintain mental clarity increases resilience and reduces wasted energy on resistance to circumstances beyond control. Accountability enhances mental discipline. Track mental and emotional progress through journaling, reflection, or external feedback. Identify patterns of distraction, impulsive reactions, or unproductive thought cycles. Record small victories in managing emotions or maintaining focus. Visibility of progress motivates continued practice, reinforces responsibility for mental state, and highlights areas requiring adjustment. Accountability transforms abstract mental training into concrete, measurable development. Training the mind also involves proactive mental nutrition. Feed it with knowledge, insights, and experiences that promote critical thinking and emotional intelligence. Engage in deliberate learning that challenges assumptions, sharpens analysis, and improves problem solving. Exposure to diverse perspectives increases mental agility, encourages open-mindedness, and prevents rigidity in thought. Continuous intellectual engagement ensures the mind remains active, adaptive, and prepared for complex challenges. Self-talk is a vital element of thought mastery. Speak to yourself with precision, honesty, and purpose. Replace criticism, doubt, and fear with constructive and solution-oriented dialogue. Internal language shapes belief, attitude, and behavior. Consistently using affirming, disciplined, and focused self-talk trains automatic thought responses to favor growth and composure. Over time, the mind internalizes these patterns, reducing conflict and increasing proactive behavior. Mind training requires intentional limits on sensory and mental overload. Excessive stimulation from digital devices, media, or multitasking fragments attention and erodes emotional stability. Schedule periods of disconnection to allow the brain to consolidate focus and process experience. Quiet moments enhance clarity, decision-making, and emotional equilibrium. Consistent practice of digital and mental discipline strengthens the mind's ability to operate under pressure and maintain direction. Visualization and mental rehearsal provide practical reinforcement. Anticipate challenges, imagine controlled responses, and simulate desired outcomes. Mentally rehearsing success prepares the brain for reality, strengthens confidence, and reduces emotional volatility. This practice is evidence-based. Athletes, leaders, and top performers all rely on mental rehearsal to ensure focus and composure when stakes are high. Repeated rehearsal ingrains calm, decisive behavior and reinforces the alignment of thought and emotion. Finally, integrate reflection at the end of each day. Examine thought patterns, emotional reactions, and decision-making. Identify moments of mastery, lapses, and opportunities for improvement. Honest reflection completes the training cycle, turning experience into actionable insight. This practice ensures that learning accumulates, habits are refined, and mastery deepens over time. Daily training of the mind transforms the way life is experienced and navigated. Thoughts become tools, not distractions. Emotions become signals, not commands. Focus sharpens, resilience strengthens, and motivation becomes self-sustaining. Each conscious effort to observe, challenge, and guide thought or emotion compounds, producing measurable growth in clarity, composure, and performance. A trained mind directs energy efficiently, adapts to adversity, and acts decisively. Mastery of thoughts and emotions is not an abstract ideal, but a practical skill that determines the quality of action, achievement, and life itself. Chapter 6. Create strong routines to maximize productivity and efficiency. Routines are the backbone of achievement and the secret to consistent productivity. Success is not the result of occasional bursts of effort, but the accumulation of repeated, focused actions that become automatic over time. Strong routines remove decision fatigue, increase efficiency, and create a structure that directs energy toward meaningful outcomes. Every day presents countless choices, and without a deliberate framework, energy dissipates on trivial tasks or distractions. Building routines ensures that effort is concentrated on priorities, reducing wasted time and mental strain. A well-designed routine transforms intention into action, making progress inevitable rather than dependent on fluctuating motivation or willpower. Start by identifying the key areas of life that require structure. These typically include work, learning, health, relationships, and personal development. Determine which activities, if done consistently, would have the highest impact on long-term goals. Not all actions deserve equal attention. Prioritizing high-leverage tasks ensures that routines maximize productivity. Once priorities are clear, map out daily activities that align with them. Routines should reflect strategic focus, emphasizing tasks that advance goals while eliminating or minimizing low-value activities. Consistency in execution is more powerful than intensity. Small regular actions create momentum that compounds over time, producing results far beyond sporadic effort. Design routines to match natural energy patterns. Identify peak periods of focus, creativity, and physical capacity. Schedule demanding or complex tasks during high-energy times and routine or administrative work during lower-energy periods. Aligning tasks with natural rhythms reduces fatigue, improves efficiency, and strengthens discipline. A routine that respects internal energy levels is more sustainable and produces higher quality output consistently. It also prevents burnout, ensuring that daily effort remains productive and purposeful without excessive strain. Incorporate micro habits that reinforce larger goals. Tiny, repeatable actions, such as reviewing priorities each morning, writing a daily plan, or reflecting on completed tasks, serve as anchors for bigger achievements. Micro-habits are simple to maintain, but accumulate substantial influence over time. By embedding them into routines, the mind and body develop automatic patterns that guide behavior without conscious effort. The strength of a routine is measured not by complexity but by the consistency and impact of repeated behaviors. Boundaries are essential for effective routines. Define clear start and end times for work, rest, and personal projects. Protect these blocks from interruptions and distractions. A disciplined routine demands that external pressures do not dictate focus or divert energy. By creating consistent time frames for key activities, the mind anticipates action and effort becomes more structured. The ability to enforce boundaries increases self-control and ensures that routines produce measurable outcomes rather than fragmented progress. Combine planning with flexibility. While structure is crucial, life introduces unexpected challenges and shifts. Effective routines account for contingencies without sacrificing consistency. If a scheduled activity cannot occur as planned, find an alternative time or adjust without abandoning the pattern entirely. Flexibility maintains momentum while ensuring that the routine remains adaptable to real-world demands. Rigid routines that break under pressure create frustration, whereas disciplined adaptability strengthens resilience and continuity of effort. Anchor routines to triggers or cues to reinforce habit formation. Linking activities to existing behaviors or environmental cues reduces reliance on memory or willpower. For example, reviewing goals immediately after waking or performing a brief meditation before work signals the brain to transition into a productive state. These cues create automatic pathways that embed routines deeply in daily life. The more seamlessly a routine integrates with natural patterns, the less conscious effort it requires, and the more reliably it drives consistent results. Evaluate routines regularly for effectiveness. Daily or weekly review ensures that each component contributes meaningfully to goals. Remove or replace steps that consume energy without producing results. Reflection allows continuous improvement and prevents routines from becoming outdated or counterproductive. A strong routine is not static. It evolves to match growth, increased capacity, and shifting qualities. Monitoring outcomes provides feedback, reinforces discipline, and guarantees that effort consistently aligns with objectives. Incorporate recovery and rest within routines. Productivity is not simply about constant output. Sustained high performance requires periods of rejuvenation, include sleep, movement, and relaxation strategically to optimize energy and focus. The mind and body perform best when recovery is integrated into structure rather than treated as optional. A well-balanced routine maximizes efficiency by alternating intense focus with restorative practices, ensuring long-term sustainability of effort. Use routines to cultivate mental clarity and emotional stability. Daily structure reduces uncertainty and decision fatigue, freeing cognitive resources for high-priority tasks. Predictable patterns in work, study, and personal practice create a sense of control, reduce stress, and support consistent motivation. The brain becomes conditioned to operate efficiently within a structured framework, producing heightened focus and calm determination. Each repetition of disciplined behavior reinforces confidence and accelerates progress, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of productivity. Accountability strengthens routine adherence. Track completion of daily tasks through journals, apps, or accountability partners. Visibility of action and progress reinforces commitment and provides insight into habits and performance. Accountability transforms routines from passive intentions into measurable practice. It exposes inconsistencies and motivates course correction, ensuring that daily effort produces meaningful results. Sharing progress with trusted individuals also creates external reinforcement, further embedding habits and maintaining focus. Combine routines with intentional planning for maximum impact. Start each day with a clear agenda, allocating time for the most important activities first. Sequence tasks strategically to optimize energy and efficiency. A routine without direction produces motion without progress, while structured planning within a routine transforms effort into measurable achievements. Planning ensures that every segment of the day is purposeful and aligned with long-term objectives, converting repetition into cumulative success. Visualize routines as building blocks of achievement. Each repeated action strengthens skills, focus, and discipline. Consistent execution creates momentum that accelerates over time, producing results disproportionate to individual effort. Routines convert ordinary behavior into extraordinary outcomes by transforming intention into automatic practice. The mind becomes conditioned to pursue excellence, emotions remain steady, and energy is directed with precision. Finally, approach routine creation as a dynamic process. Experiment with timing, sequence, and duration to find what produces maximum effectiveness. Monitor results, adjust strategies, and refine practices continually. A routine is a living system designed to amplify performance, streamline effort, and maintain consistency. When executed deliberately and reinforced daily, strong routines maximize productivity, increase efficiency, and make disciplined progress an inevitable result of focused, structured action. The commitment to daily structure transforms potential into accomplishment, effort into achievement, and intention into unstoppable momentum. Chapter 7. Push through challenges to grow stronger every single day. Challenges are inevitable in life, yet the way they are approached determines the trajectory of growth, resilience, and success. Pushing through difficulties is not simply enduring discomfort. It is a conscious choice to face obstacles, learn from them, and use them to strengthen character and capability. Every setback, every barrier, every moment of resistance presents an opportunity to refine focus, build determination, and expand limits. Avoidance may feel comfortable in the short term, but it leaves potential unrealized and progress stalled. Confronting challenges head-on trains the mind, fortifies the spirit, and equips individuals to handle future adversity with confidence and composure. Begin by changing the perception of challenges. They are not punishments or signals of failure. Challenges are indicators of growth opportunities. Each obstacle tests endurance, reveals weaknesses, and offers the chance to acquire new skills. Embrace this perspective fully. When challenges are reframed as necessary steps for development, motivation shifts from avoidance to engagement. Resistance becomes a proving ground, and every effort against difficulty strengthens resilience. The mind begins to anticipate obstacles as part of the process, reducing fear and hesitation when difficulties arise. Preparation is essential for confronting challenges effectively. Assess the situation, identify potential obstacles, and plan possible responses. Awareness of what lies ahead allows for strategic action rather than reactive struggle. Break the challenge into manageable components to prevent overwhelm. Small, deliberate steps accumulate into progress that may initially seem impossible. Preparation increases confidence, reduces wasted effort, and provides clarity under pressure. By taking stock of resources, skills, and options before engaging, challenges transform from intimidating roadblocks into structured opportunities for advancement. Persistence is the key to growth through adversity. Every attempt to overcome an obstacle reinforces mental toughness and practical competence. Consistency in action, even when progress is slow, compounds results over time. Minor victories achieved through repeated effort accumulate into significant achievements that strengthen self-belief. Each push against resistance reinforces the understanding that effort directly influences outcomes. Persistence also teaches patience and endurance, qualities essential for sustained success in every area of life. Adapting while pushing forward is critical. Challenges rarely follow predictable patterns, and flexibility is required to navigate them effectively. Analyze outcomes, adjust strategies, and remain focused on objectives while modifying methods. Adaptation is not surrender, it is intelligent response. Those who persist without reflection risk wasted energy, while those who adjust tactically maximize efficiency and learning. Each adaptation strengthens problem-solving ability, deepens understanding, and enhances the capacity to overcome increasingly complex challenges. Resilience is built through experience. Facing difficulty repeatedly increases tolerance for discomfort and reduces fear of failure. Exposure to controlled hardship allows the mind and body to develop endurance and composure. Emotional responses stabilize, decision-making improves, and confidence in handling future adversity grows. Resilience is a skill cultivated deliberately by encountering resistance, assessing reactions, and refining strategies. The more consistently challenges are faced, the stronger the foundation of resilience becomes. Seek lessons in every challenge. Analyze what the difficulty teaches about personal strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies. Determine what strategies worked and what did not. Learning from adversity ensures that effort produces long-term growth rather than temporary survival. Each challenge completed is an investment in knowledge, skill, and character that will compound in future situations. The habit of reflection transforms difficulty from random struggle into structured improvement and measurable growth. Commit fully to action when facing challenges. Half measures or hesitation reduce the effectiveness of effort and prolong difficulty unnecessarily. Engage with problems decisively, allocate appropriate resources, and execute with determination. Action creates momentum, and momentum reduces the psychological weight of obstacles. Movement forward, even imperfect, accelerates learning and produces tangible results. Hesitation breeds frustration and stagnation, while deliberate action ensures progress and reinforces confidence in one's abilities. Maintain focus on long-term objectives. Immediate discomfort may seem overwhelming if attention is placed solely on the present struggle. Shift perspective to how overcoming this challenge aligns with overarching goals. Viewing obstacles in the context of the bigger picture provides motivation, clarity, and patience. It allows for calculated persistence rather than impulsive reaction or avoidance. Understanding the purpose behind challenges converts resistance into meaningful effort and reinforces the value of persistence. Support systems amplify the ability to push through challenges. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage effort, provide guidance, and model resilience. Mentors, peers, or supportive networks offer perspective, advice, and accountability. Collaboration and feedback enhance problem solving and reduce isolation during difficult times. While challenges are ultimately personal, external support strengthens resolve and accelerates learning. Engaging with those who have overcome similar obstacles provides insight and inspiration that fosters continued commitment to growth. Cultivate mental discipline alongside effort. Challenges test focus and emotional stability. Maintaining composure under stress ensures that actions are deliberate and effective. Train the mind to regulate reactions, prioritize tasks, and remain calm amidst uncertainty. Mental strength allows the body to follow with consistent action rather than being hindered by panic or frustration. The combination of physical effort and mental clarity produces higher efficiency and effectiveness when navigating difficult circumstances. Celebrate progress without distraction. Acknowledge small wins achieved through perseverance to reinforce motivation and self-efficacy. Recognition of incremental achievements strengthens commitment to continued effort and provides psychological reinforcement. However, avoid complacency. Celebrating progress should inspire continued action, not justify reduced intensity. Each success, no matter how minor, is proof that pushing forward produces tangible results. Reinforcement of achievement energizes persistence, especially when challenges are prolonged or complex. Physical and mental preparation intersect in facing challenges. Adequate rest, nutrition, exercise, and focus contribute to the capacity to handle difficulty. The body and mind perform best when maintained deliberately. Neglecting preparation amplifies obstacles, while consistent care enhances endurance, decision-making, and execution. A holistic approach ensures that challenges are met with maximum capacity and efficiency. Strength, stamina, and mental sharpness reinforce one another in sustaining effort against adversity. Finally, view challenges as essential elements of mastery. Avoiding difficulty delays growth, limits potential, and undermines confidence. Each challenge successfully confronted strengthens skill, character, and perseverance. By consistently pushing through obstacles, every individual develops the capacity to handle greater responsibilities, pursue ambitious goals, and navigate life with confidence. The path of growth is defined not by ease, but by the consistent confrontation of resistance. Each day presents an opportunity to grow stronger, sharpen resolve, and refine capability. Embracing challenges as stepping stones transforms effort into resilience, obstacles into lessons, and adversity into unstoppable forward momentum. Chapter 8. Invest in learning daily to expand skills and knowledge. Learning is the most valuable investment a person can make because knowledge and skills compound over time, creating opportunities, enhancing performance, and expanding potential. Growth is not accidental, it is intentional and deliberate. Each day provides a choice to remain stagnant or to acquire new understanding that strengthens capability and sharpens judgment. Daily investment in learning builds a foundation that supports long-term achievement in every area of life. The mind, like a muscle, requires consistent exercise to remain strong, agile, and capable of adapting to evolving challenges. Every effort to improve understanding or develop skill produces measurable returns that influence success and resilience. Begin by recognizing that learning is not limited to formal education or traditional classrooms. Opportunities exist in reading, observing, practicing, questioning, and engaging with diverse perspectives. Curiosity becomes the driver of growth. Each encounter, whether with a book, a conversation, a challenge, or a new experience, can teach something valuable. Embracing a mindset of daily learning transforms ordinary experiences into lessons that enhance skills, insight, and perspective. The key is consistency and willingness to absorb knowledge actively rather than passively consuming information. Set clear intentions for learning. Identify areas where development will produce the greatest impact on personal and professional goals. Focused effort in high-value areas accelerates progress. Attempting to learn everything indiscriminately dilutes energy and reduces efficiency. Strategic selection of topics, skills, or disciplines ensures that investment of time produces meaningful improvement. Establish objectives for each learning session, whether mastering a new skill, understanding a concept, or applying knowledge practically. Intentionality turns curiosity into structured growth and reinforces the habit of daily improvement. Create a routine dedicated to learning. Consistency is critical to retention and application. Even short, daily sessions of focused study accumulate into substantial expertise over weeks, months, and years. Small, deliberate investments of time are more effective than sporadic, intensive efforts. Daily commitment signals the mind that growth is a priority and reinforces discipline. When learning becomes habitual, it integrates naturally into life rather than competing with other obligations, ensuring continuous expansion of knowledge and capability. Engage with material actively rather than passively. Summarize concepts in your own words, teach ideas to others, or apply principles practically. Active engagement deepens understanding, improves memory retention, and facilitates problem solving. Knowledge without action has limited value, but when applied, it transforms into skill. Each attempt to use information in real-world situations strengthens competency, builds confidence, and accelerates mastery. Learning becomes tangible through practice and deliberate application, ensuring that investment produces measurable returns. Seek diverse sources of knowledge. Exposure to different perspectives, disciplines, and methodologies broadens understanding and enhances adaptability. Reading, listening, experimenting, and observing provide complementary insights that deepen comprehension. Avoid relying solely on familiar sources or repeating existing knowledge. Growth requires expansion beyond comfort zones and challenges preconceived assumptions. Diversity in learning cultivates creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving capacity, equipping the mind to handle complex situations and make informed decisions. Reflection consolidates learning into wisdom. Daily review of acquired knowledge and skills reinforces memory and understanding. Analyze what worked, what was unclear, and how lessons can be applied in practical scenarios. Reflection bridges the gap between theory and practice, transforming information into actionable insight. Without reflection, learning remains fragmented and ephemeral. By integrating reflection into the learning process, insights solidify, and the ability to apply knowledge effectively is enhanced. Mentorship and collaboration amplify growth. Learning from those with experience, skill, or expertise accelerates understanding. Engage in discussions, ask questions, and seek feedback to deepen comprehension and correct misunderstandings. Observation of others' methods and approaches provides shortcuts to mastery that self-study alone cannot produce. Collaboration also exposes the learner to challenges and perspectives that may have been overlooked, enriching understanding and fostering adaptive thinking. The combination of guidance, challenge, and exchange produces faster, more durable development. Apply learning immediately to reinforce progress. Knowledge gains impact only when put into action. Experiment with new techniques, implement insights, and test hypotheses in practical contexts. Real-world application clarifies understanding, exposes gaps, and strengthens skill. Daily integration of learning ensures that knowledge is not theoretical but operational, directly influencing results and personal development. Action solidifies competence, builds confidence, and transforms potential into measurable achievement. Invest in learning as a long-term habit rather than occasional bursts. Cumulative improvement surpasses sporadic effort. Even small, consistent advances compound into substantial expertise over time. Dedicate time daily to expand skills, deepen understanding, and refine judgment. Continuous investment keeps the mind sharp, adaptable, and prepared for unforeseen challenges. Those who commit to lifelong learning remain ahead in opportunities, decision-making, and capability, whereas neglect results in stagnation and lost potential. Leverage technology and resources to accelerate learning. Utilize books, online courses, podcasts, and interactive tools to access high-quality knowledge efficiently. Curate content to match priorities and goals, ensuring time invested produces the greatest return. Structured use of resources prevents distraction and maximizes absorption. The modern world provides unparalleled access to expertise and information, and daily use ensures consistent skill and knowledge development, creating a competitive advantage in both personal and professional domains. Challenge yourself to master complex or unfamiliar topics. Avoid limiting growth to comfortable subjects. Struggle and deliberate effort deepen understanding and expand problem-solving capacity. Difficult learning experiences strengthen patience, discipline, and adaptability. Engaging with challenges prepares the mind for real-world obstacles and reinforces confidence in tackling unfamiliar problems. Complexity provides the opportunity to accelerate growth, and consistent effort ensures that each challenge contributes meaningfully to skill expansion and cognitive development. Balance acquisition of knowledge with synthesis. Connect ideas across disciplines, identify patterns, and develop insights that produce innovation. Integration of learning allows the mind to create frameworks, make connections, and apply knowledge more effectively. Isolated information has limited impact, but synthesizing knowledge transforms understanding into actionable intelligence. Daily learning that includes reflection, application, and integration ensures that improvement is holistic and immediately beneficial. Accountability enhances learning outcomes. Track progress, set milestones, and review achievements regularly. Monitoring advancement ensures focus, measures retention, and highlights areas needing reinforcement. Sharing progress with mentors or peers reinforces commitment and provides external feedback. Accountability ensures that investment in knowledge and skill produces tangible results rather than passive accumulation. Visibility of effort and achievement reinforces motivation and cultivates consistency. Investing in learning daily develops a mindset oriented toward growth, adaptability, and excellence. Knowledge becomes the foundation for opportunity. Skill becomes the instrument of achievement, and continuous improvement becomes a habit that drives sustained success. Each day spent acquiring, applying, and refining skills strengthens potential and expands influence over personal and professional life. By committing to daily learning, individuals ensure that growth is deliberate, measurable, and unstoppable, transforming effort into mastery, curiosity into competence, and intention into achievement. Chapter 9. Surround yourself wisely to stay motivated and ambitious. The people you spend the most time with shape the quality of your thoughts, influence your decisions, and determine the level of your ambition. Success is not achieved in isolation. It is cultivated through meaningful interaction with individuals who challenge, inspire, and support growth. Every conversation, relationship, and connection either uplifts or drains, motivates or distracts, reinforces progress or encourages stagnation. Choosing companions consciously is as critical as choosing goals, because your environment either amplifies your potential or diminishes it. The energy, mindset, and habits of those around you create subtle but powerful forces that affect focus, confidence, and drive. Surrounding yourself wisely is a deliberate act of self-investment that ensures sustained motivation and relentless pursuit of ambition. Begin by evaluating your current circle. Assess the influence of each relationship on your goals, mindset, and daily actions. Identify individuals who embody the qualities you aspire to, those who demonstrate discipline, vision, and resilience. Equally, recognize connections that consistently drain energy, promote doubt, or distract from purpose. Honest evaluation is essential. Relationships are not neutral. They exert constant impact. By consciously analyzing who contributes positively and who hinders progress, you gain clarity on where to invest energy for mutual benefit and personal growth. Prioritize relationships that challenge and inspire. Surround yourself with individuals who push boundaries, ask hard questions, and hold high standards. Exposure to ambitious, disciplined, and knowledgeable people creates an environment of accountability and learning. Motivation grows when the people around you model effort, determination, and achievement. Their mindset becomes contagious, subtly influencing decisions, reinforcing focus, and elevating personal ambition. Observing excellence in action teaches standards, habits, and strategies that accelerate growth beyond what isolated effort can produce. Limit exposure to negative or unproductive influences. People who complain, procrastinate, or resist growth diminish motivation and drain energy. Avoid environments that encourage complacency or justify mediocrity. Negative influence is often subtle, manifesting as casual doubt, passive criticism, or habitual distraction. Distance from these forces preserves focus, maintains self-belief, and fosters resilience. Protecting mental and emotional space is not selfish. It is essential for maintaining clarity, sustaining effort, and ensuring consistent progress toward meaningful goals. Seek mentors and guides who provide perspective, expertise, and guidance. Mentorship accelerates growth by offering proven strategies, constructive feedback, and insights drawn from experience. A mentor challenges assumptions, highlights blind spots, and models effective behavior. Engaging with individuals who have achieved success in areas you aspire to allows learning from their journey rather than repeating avoidable mistakes. Mentorship transforms ambition into practical steps, increases efficiency, and strengthens the confidence required to pursue higher levels of achievement. Engage in communities that promote growth. Groups focused on self-improvement, skill development, or professional excellence create networks of motivation and shared knowledge. Interaction with peers who are committed to progress fosters collaboration, inspiration, and accountability. Exchange of ideas, challenges, and experiences accelerates learning and reinforces the belief that growth is achievable. Collective ambition elevates individual effort, turning personal goals into shared pursuit of excellence. The environment becomes a catalyst rather than a barrier, amplifying determination and capability. Communicate intentionally and purposefully. Conversations shape beliefs, attitudes, and emotions. Engage in dialogue that encourages reflection, learning, and constructive action. Avoid gossip, trivial disputes, or discussions that reinforce fear, doubt, or negativity. Intentional communication with motivated, ambitious individuals reinforces focus, builds confidence, and generates actionable insights. Words and ideas are powerful tools. The more exposure to constructive thinking, the more naturally ambition and productivity are reinforced in daily life. Observe and emulate positive habits. The behaviors, routines, and mental frameworks of motivated individuals offer practical examples to incorporate into your own life. Watching discipline, time management, decision-making, and problem-solving in action teaches more than theory alone. Modeling successful practices accelerates development by providing concrete steps to follow. Surrounding yourself wisely includes learning through observation and integrating effective habits into personal routines, ensuring that environment contributes directly to progress rather than merely serving as social interaction. Create boundaries that reinforce purpose. Protect time, energy, and focus by limiting engagement with individuals or activities that divert attention from goals. Clear boundaries preserve mental clarity and reduce stress caused by conflicting priorities or negative influence. Boundaries are not about isolation, but strategic alignment with growth-oriented influences. Deliberate interaction ensures that every relationship contributes value, reinforces motivation, and supports ambition. Maintaining control over who and what occupies attention strengthens discipline and directs effort where it produces maximum impact. Celebrate relationships that reinforce achievement. Acknowledge those who support growth, provide encouragement, and model excellence. Appreciation strengthens connections that contribute to long-term progress and sustains positive influence. Mutual reinforcement creates an environment where motivation and ambition thrive naturally. Collaborative success builds energy, confidence, and momentum, making challenges easier to navigate and progress more sustainable. Relationships that celebrate effort and achievement create an ecosystem that continually elevates focus, determination, and performance. Invest time in cultivating meaningful connections. Networking is not merely transactional, it is a strategic investment in growth. Choose interactions that promote learning, inspiration, and accountability. Shared values, goals, and vision strengthen bonds that support achievement. Nurturing relationships intentionally ensures that the influence received aligns with personal objectives. By committing to relationships that uplift and challenge, individuals create a social environment that magnifies potential and sustains daily motivation. Distance from complacency is critical. Surrounding yourself with ambition and action-oriented individuals reinforces urgency, discipline, and consistent effort. In contrast, exposure to stagnation breeds delayed progress, excuses, and lowered standards. The people around you provide mirrors of possibility. If their habits, mindset, and energy align with growth, your own performance is elevated. If not, progress is compromised. Surrounding yourself wisely is a conscious strategy to cultivate an environment where motivation is reinforced, ambition is nurtured, and growth becomes inevitable. Evaluate influence regularly. Relationships evolve, as do personal goals. Periodically assess which connections continue to contribute positively and which may hinder progress. Adapt accordingly, strengthening ties that support purpose and minimizing engagement with influences that no longer serve development. Continuous evaluation ensures that the environment remains aligned with objectives, reinforcing clarity, focus, and consistent action. This ongoing process maintains momentum and prevents stagnation caused by outdated or negative influence. Investing in a carefully chosen social environment accelerates learning, strengthens resilience, and fuels ambition. The people around you are not incidental, they are instruments that shape energy, thought patterns, and behavior. By surrounding yourself wisely, motivation becomes sustained, effort becomes deliberate, and success becomes a natural outcome of focused interaction and disciplined engagement. Choosing companions intentionally ensures that every connection contributes to growth, reinforces purpose, and maintains the drive necessary to pursue increasingly ambitious goals each day. Chapter 10. Act with courage daily to overcome fear and doubt. Courage is the foundation of achievement because action in the face of fear transforms hesitation into progress and doubt into confidence. Fear and uncertainty are natural, but they become obstacles only when allowed to dictate behavior. Acting courageously does not mean the absence of fear. It means taking deliberate, decisive steps despite the presence of fear or discomfort. Every significant accomplishment requires moving forward while anxiety exists, confronting uncertainty and challenging the limitations imposed by hesitation. Courage is a skill cultivated daily through repeated practice, and each deliberate act strengthens the capacity to handle risk, embrace change, and pursue meaningful goals without being paralyzed by doubt. Start by recognizing fear and doubt as signals rather than barriers. They indicate areas where growth is possible, challenges that need to be faced, and opportunities that demand action. Awareness of fear allows for conscious decision-making instead of automatic avoidance. Identify specific fears, understand their origins, and acknowledge their presence without judgment. Accepting fear as a natural response reduces its power and creates a mental space for action. Once acknowledged, fear becomes a guide that informs strategic and intentional effort rather than a source of limitation. Commit to small acts of courage daily. Facing minor fears consistently builds mental strength and prepares the mind for larger challenges. Each deliberate choice to act despite discomfort reinforces self-efficacy, conditions resilience, and trains the mind to approach difficulty with determination rather than avoidance. Small victories accumulate into confidence, creating a foundation for tackling increasingly complex or intimidating situations. Daily practice in courage makes bold action habitual and less daunting over time. Develop a mindset that prioritizes action over perfection. Fear often arises from anticipation of failure or judgment. Accept that mistakes are part of the growth process and that progress rarely occurs without risk. Shift focus from potential negative outcomes to the benefits of engagement and learning. Action itself produces insight, clarity, and momentum, whereas inaction only reinforces doubt and anxiety. By valuing effort over certainty, courage becomes a daily habit rather than an occasional burst of bravery. Use preparation to reduce fear without eliminating it entirely. Understanding challenges, gathering resources, and planning responses build confidence, but the true test of courage occurs when action begins, despite incomplete knowledge or uncertainty. Over-preparation can become procrastination, but informed readiness empowers deliberate movement into the unknown. Balancing preparation with bold execution ensures that fear motivates careful planning without paralyzing effort. Challenge limiting beliefs directly. Doubt often emerges from internalized assumptions about capability, worth, or external constraints. Question these beliefs rigorously, test their validity, and replace them with evidence-based assessments. Courage grows when individuals confront the mental barriers they have accepted as truth. Each instance of defying self-imposed limitations strengthens autonomy, reinforces confidence, and expands perceived potential. Acting against doubt consistently retrains the mind to respond to obstacles with determination rather than avoidance. Visualize the outcome of courageous action to strengthen commitment. Focus on the benefits of stepping forward, the lessons learned, and the progress made rather than fixating on potential failure. Visualization aligns the mind with purpose and primes behavior for decisive action. Anticipating success and the personal growth that accompanies effort transforms fear into motivation and doubt into fuel for action. The mental rehearsal of courageous behavior strengthens resolve and increases the likelihood of taking decisive steps when challenges arise. Surround yourself with examples of courage. Observe individuals who act decisively, face uncertainty, and persist despite difficulty. Their actions provide models for behavior and reinforce the belief that challenges can be overcome. Stories of perseverance, mentorship, and shared experience inspire emulation and create a social environment that normalizes courageous action. Exposure to courage in others strengthens personal resolve and reduces the perceived intimidation of obstacles. Reframe failure as information and opportunity. Courage involves risk, and risk occasionally results in setbacks. Viewing these outcomes as feedback rather than catastrophe preserves motivation and encourages continued effort. Each failure contains valuable insights about strategy, execution, and personal growth. By acting despite fear and interpreting results constructively, resilience and skill are cultivated. Courage is reinforced when setbacks are transformed into lessons that improve future decision-making. Anchor courage to daily habits. Incorporate practices that consistently push comfort zones, such as initiating difficult conversations, pursuing challenging projects, or engaging in physical and mental exercises that test limits. Regular exposure to controlled discomfort trains the mind and body to respond with confidence rather than avoidance. Habitual courage ensures that fear becomes a signal to act rather than a reason to retreat. The accumulation of consistent courageous acts builds a durable mindset capable of sustaining ambition and achievement. Maintain clarity of purpose to strengthen courageous action. Knowing why a goal matters provides a compelling reason to act despite fear. Purpose serves as the anchor that motivates perseverance when doubt arises. Strong, well-defined objectives transform courage into deliberate action, aligned with meaningful outcomes. When motivation is linked to purpose, hesitation diminishes and boldness becomes a consistent response to challenge. Develop self-compassion while acting courageously. Fear and doubt are natural and do not indicate weakness. Treat oneself with understanding while still committing to action. Self-compassion prevents paralysis caused by self-criticism and reinforces resilience. Recognizing effort, acknowledging bravery, and maintaining forward momentum regardless of discomforts strengthens psychological endurance. Courage is sustained when fear is met with discipline and self-respect rather than judgment and avoidance. Measure progress and reinforce courage. Track instances where action occurred despite fear and assess the outcomes achieved. Recognizing patterns of bravery enhances confidence and motivates continued effort. Reflection consolidates experience, highlights growth, and demonstrates the transformative power of deliberate action. Consistent review ensures that courage becomes a measurable and repeatable skill rather than a sporadic response. Finally, commit to daily practice of courageous action. Each deliberate step into discomfort, every moment of doubt met with action, compounds into strength, self-reliance, and expanded capability. Fear and uncertainty will persist, but daily engagement ensures they no longer dictate behavior. Courage transforms hesitation into forward motion, doubt into clarity, and risk into opportunity. Acting with courage each day reshapes mindset, builds resilience, and solidifies the habits required to achieve sustained success, ensuring that fear is never a barrier but a catalyst for growth, mastery, and relentless progress.